I love video games. The story, the characters, the way everything is, I just love it. Hell, I grew up with video games. Mostly just platform games. Only a few years, no, I wouldn't say recently, but that I became trying to play horror games. After watching Let's Plays like PewDiePie and Yamimash. That's when I finally decided to go out of my safe space and actually try horror games. For the most part, I would not touch a horror game with a 10-foot pole. But now I do, and I love it. I especially love when I get a chance to get over my fears and reach the end. There's nothing more satisfying than that. And, well, my first horror game that I ever played was actually Silent Hill 1, and I played it on my PS Vita. It was scary, not gonna lie. I got so many jump scares, and even though it's a very old game, I still love it. And for the years past, I got a chance to try out my hand on other horror games. Managed to find myself Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3. Even though they're pretty much to the point they are red items, I somehow managed to did it and got them in my collection. Hoping I'm getting other games, but one thing I noticed is as time goes on, more and more horror games starting to feel all the same. There's always the same mechanic. We always have the camera right over our shoulder. The character is always a little bit to the side of the camera, and it's always the same. No more is a survival game. It's always just action game. Hell, just look at Resident Evil. Resident Evil even also started with the fixed cameras, having to survive, and they went all the way to becoming nothing more but just another action game where the zombies are just something they just happen to appear. Of course, it's not just that. There's also other games which are pretty much following the same formula. So it's the same type of game, same type of mechanics, and I'm getting tired of it. So, as they say, when you're not happy with it, try to do it yourself. I intend to do just that. I am trying to make my own video game, and its name is Stigma. There is a town where the dead hang with the living. Nobody knows where it is. It's a myth that's been passing around through the internet. However, there is one clue. It is said there is one town that has information of said town. Our main character needs that information, and she's willing to do everything in order to obtain it. Now the games are giving too much power to the gamers, from making the characters way too overpowered, or giving the chance to choosing where the camera goes. As such, when it comes to my game, I intend to fix that. To fix such problem, one of the things that I intend to do is remove the ability of controlling the cameras. As such, I'm bringing back fixed cameras. Now, every now and then, when a player reaches an area, the player will have to risk it all and just go straight. Whether they'll come across a monster or not, that's up to them. No longer can they rely on moving the camera to see if there's a monster nearby. Now it's up to the players. That's one of the things I wish to do. Now, as for the combat, like I said before, modern games giving too much power to the gamers. As such, I intend to have the character, instead of having a very overpowered, powerful character that can wield weapons no problem. It's gonna be a character that has no experience with fighting. As such, I'm gonna make sure that the battle or the fighting is gonna be as clunky as possible. Not only that, one of the things I intend to do is that the more powerful the weapon is, the longer it takes to heal it. For instance, from a melee weapon, though it's gonna be fast but very weak, to a fire weapon where although it's gonna be extremely powerful, it'll be very slow. As such, I intend to have the players making sure to adjust to this stuff, where they choose to use a fast weapon but with very low damage, to either choose a weapon which is very powerful but it's very slow. In this game, I intend to have at least 10 stages. The first stage is gonna be Epidermis Metro. The second one shall be Whisperwoods Metro. Third is gonna be Iron Scent Park. Fourth stage shall be Whisperwoods. Fifth stage White Willow Hospital. Sixth stage Radio Tower. Seventh stage Hotel Beansprout. The eighth stage gonna be Marigold Apartments. The ninth stage shall be Solomon Mansion. And the final stage shall be The Crypt. Natasha Amore, age 17, size 106 centimeters, chest size E. Natasha is the main character of this game. For personal reasons, she requires information about the town where the dead meet with the living. She absolutely needs it. So, when she learned about Whisperwoods, she decided to try her hand on it, not caring about her own safety. Natasha has no fighting experience, and unfortunately for her, she's not exactly, shall we say, strong, but she's determined, and she will try to get it. When it comes to personality, Natasha is going to be seen extremely silent, sad, depressed. There is something that happened to her, which is, in a way, you could say the reason as to why she's going through all of this. However, her story is not yet to be told. Not yet. Now, just because she's not a big, tough woman, like we've seen in more games, it doesn't mean she's nothing less. I still wish for her to show everyone that you don't have to be like those women nowadays. To put it simply, I'm just too tired of the whole tomboyish, tough woman that's not actually a woman. I wanted bringing back the sweet feminine woman, the one that embraces femininity, but doesn't mean she won't back down. She is sweet, she is kind, but she is no doormat. And she is smart, and it's gonna be up to the players to help her reach the end of her adventure. Or should I say, to help her reach the answer so she can finally start healing. In my game, I tend to have at least 6 enemies, and there's gonna be 7 boss characters. The first 2 enemies that the player is gonna meet at the hospital, there's gonna be of course the nurse and doctors. The doctor character, or should I say the doctor enemy, they do not fight the player. They will of course warn other monsters when they see the player. And given the chance, the doctor will try to grab the player to try and keep it still until the other monsters appear. The next monster is going to be the nurse. Now this one is a killer. Nurses are actually slow walkers. Although they might be slow, they're extremely fast when it comes to their arms, where they use their arms as swords in order to fight a player. Not only that, but the nurse is gonna have a one-hit kill. If the player is not careful, they will end up dead instantly. Of course, within the hospital, there's also gonna be a boss character, although I will not share much information of it. Now the next area is going to be the radio tower, where we get introduced with two more characters or two more enemies, the Jeep Pig and the Vulture. Jeep Pig pretty much means greedy pig, and just like the nurses, they are extremely slow. They also are very slow fighters. However, they are quite big, and they will try to use their own bodies as a way to lock the player in one area. Not only that, but each floor, or should I say each floor there the player is, there's normally always two Jeep Pig, so it's best to be careful not to be stuck in the middle of these guys, unless you wish to die. Another enemy is going to be a vulture. As the name suggested, it is pretty much a vulture, and they tend to hang around in the ceiling, waiting for the player to walk by. With that being said, the player needs to be very careful while exploring the room, because if they are not careful and they walk underneath a vulture, they will get one hit kill. However, although vultures can be very powerful while hanging around the ceiling, they are extremely weak when they're just in the floor. While on the floor, the player can just attack the vulture without problem, as long as it avoids the biting, which is the only way for the vulture to attack. The vulture can still walk around, but extremely slow. And once again, within this radio tower, there is also a boss, which I will not say much about it. After that, the player will find themselves within the hotel being Sprout. Well, they get a chance to meet a new enemy, and in this place there's gonna be just one new enemy. The Devilish Emperor is a small, kid-sized monster which is very energetic. The Devilish Emperor will attack the player at random, try to knock him down. If the Devilish Emperor manages to knock down the player by the third time, they'll perform an instant kill by biting down the neck of the player. And once again, there is also a boss character within this area, which, once again, I will not say much about it. And the final enemy that the player will encounter is going to be in Solomon Mansion, and these guys are the leeches. Leeches are extremely weak enemies. Now, even though they are weak, they make it up by going in groups. Leeches are weak and slow. The player can kill them without problem. However, keep in mind that for any time there is one leech, there are usually 6 or even more leeches around. And although they are weak, they will still cause some damage. And once again, there is also going to be a boss battle within Solomon Mansion, but once again, I'm not going to say much. Of course, after meeting certain enemies, some of these enemies will be found once again as we explore. From vultures being found at the Marigold apartment, to doctors being found in Solomon Mansion. Of course, if the player reads the notes around the areas, we'll probably figure out the reason behind these enemies being here. With that being said, this is mostly of the enemies we're gonna meet. There is still 2 more boss characters the player will meet, but that's gonna be in the very end of the game. There is still a lot of work I need to do for this game. From sound effects to actually start working on the 3D animations, and even getting myself some better hardware, which unfortunately my own PC, as many people have once noticed while watching my Let's Plays, it is currently not in the best condition. As such, I'll most welcome some donations from Patreon, where you can guys go to the horror tier to buy me a coffee. It will always be my dream to make my own video game, and I shall do everything I can to fulfill this game. The whole story is already completed. The monsters are created. The puzzles are also being designed already. All I need now is sound effects and the 3D softwares, and of course a good computer can handle such programs. So please help me.